Hey guys, welcome back. It is Philip with Baby Giant Barbell, and I wanted to bring a quick review to y'all on a few different products that I have been testing for a few weeks now. Those are from the Tib Bar Guy. You know, I've already done a review on the Nordic Back Extension V2, and I am now reviewing their slant board offerings. Stay tuned, but spoilers, I like them a lot. Hey guys, thank you for coming back to the channel. Let's get into this review on the slant board offerings from the Tib Bar Guy. So I have their adjustable squat ramps and I have their slant stack with the risers. And just a bonus, I'm also going to be reviewing their bands that you can use with both of these, mainly the slant stack though. Why add a slant board to your workout regimen? They have quite a few uses. Namely, they are going to help you with your quadricep hypertrophy. You can do a bunch of different exercises. One of my favorites is actually using a slant board on a Romanian deadlift or any kind of stiff leg hip hinge to really get a good stretch in the posterior chain and also the hamstrings. So these are going to be able to be used by people who are chasing records, people who are going for strength goals, people who are just going for general fitness. So they're very versatile. But why would you pick the Tib Bar Guy over some of the other products on the market? Let's talk about it. So first, just a disclaimer, these were sent to me for free for a review. You'll see that this is going to be a raw review with real training footage and me pushing these pretty hard to get a good idea of what I really think about them. So I'm going to start with the adjustable squat ramps first and foremost. Now, I had a version of a squat ramp from another company previously. I still have them actually, the squat wedgies adjustable squat ramp, or not adjustable, but squat ramps. And I was curious to see how these stacked up. Now, these Tib Bar Guy adjustable squat ramps are made of a metal. They have a non-slip rubber floor or foot on them rather, and they are adjustable up to 5 different increments. So you see here, not too aggressive, but they can go up to a pretty aggressive incline. And so you see the function of them. They have this little part that goes into each of these different rungs, and voila. Now the whole surface that your foot will go on is covered in grip tape. You'll find that's a common theme with both of the offerings from the Tib Bar Guy. And these rock solid while you're using them. I've used them under some relatively heavy loads, I would say, for what they would be used for in a home gym. And these I would have no problem recommending for a commercial setting as well. They are built very well. Metal, again, very nice with a very grippy surface to keep your foot locked in place while you're using them for whatever you're using them for. So these, just to give y'all measurement, the foot, actual foot space, it's about 9 inches long. So I wear a size 13 shoe and I can't fit my whole foot on this, but I can fit most of it on there. So I have no problem staying on it. So that is not a problem. And again, that grip tape really keeps it locked in place. And when I've used these, I'm telling you, they have not moved at all. So very, very solid. I like these a lot. Now moving on to this slant stack, thing's awesome, guys. When the Tib Bar Guy first approached me about reviewing this, I was thinking to myself $150 for a slant board and some risers, but this thing is awesome. There are so many features in it that I was not expecting before I got it in, and I can definitely see where that price tag is justified. Now, the main unit of it, this slant board, is not adjustable, but it has that same grip tape that the adjustable ramp has over the entire surface. Okay, very, very grippy. I love that because the other set of squat wedges that I bought with my own money had a few flimsy little not very slippery strips on them. You're going to get a grippy surface over the entire surface area. Okay, that is awesome. Now, on top of that, you're also going to get these platforms, and you see this is just a molded plastic, a hard plastic. Feels very solid under my feet for what I've used it for. But you can also buy these risers separately. So you can get the slant board for about $60 if I remember correctly. And then these risers, if you get them separately, they're about $100. Again, tax and shipping would apply as well, possibly. But together they're about $150. So for the slant board and about 3 risers. Now these risers are really cool. You can see they are very light. The slant board and the risers are very light because of how they're built, but they feel very, very strong. And these risers, notice they have cutouts. Those serve two purposes. They can be held as handles like this, or you can slide, you can see the cutout all the way across. You can slide a band under there and use these for banded works. And that's where this piece really shined for me because, everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people offer slant boards, a lot of people offer risers, but the fact that you can use this as something to use bands with as well, I've used it for some pretty heavy banded deadlifts, which I think is an incredible feature of something like this. So not only can you do your banded sissy squats, your regular just heels elevated squats, really hit those quads hard, use it for any kind of knees over toe stuff. You can also use this for deadlift banded work, which I thought was really, really cool. So very, very versatile piece. I've really liked it. Now this piece, I'm going to measure the actual foot area, about 15 inches. And for this, it's about 19 inches. So if you're using the slant board, you've got about 19 inches of space. If you're just using the risers, you've got about 15 inches of space. And one thing I would say about the slant stack, overwhelmingly, I like this piece a lot. I found a lot of very good use out of this piece. I do, however, think that it could be a bit wider. I know I'm naturally a pretty wide squatter. I squat with my knees and toes pushed out and in a relatively wide stance, if you will. And so this piece, like when I do deadlifts on it, my feet really have to scrunch in. And so it could be just a little bit wider when I'm using it for the heels elevated part. I usually am putting my feet towards the very outside, sometimes slightly off. If you don't have a hip anatomy like that, you won't have that problem. If you do have a hip anatomy like that, it's still going to work. I just think it could be slightly wider. That's my main gripe with this piece. Otherwise, it is awesome. It's versatile. It's built well, and it's pretty competitively priced for what it can do. Again, what it can do. Now, I've also used these bands. They sent me a set of these bands, and they're like $80 for a set, which at first I thought was a little bit steep, but you get a lot of bands with this set. So you get one going all the way up to 175 pounds of resistance. You get all kinds of different thicknesses, sizes. I mean, it's a big set of bands. So, can you find a cheaper set on Amazon? Probably, but you're not going to get this many bands. You're definitely not going to get this monster band or this other blue band. You're going to get one. I have a set from Amazon up to about this big. Okay, so bands work really well. I've actually done some pretty heavily banded heels elevated squats, and they felt good. So, if you are working out using this piece, just kind of in a small space, bands with the slant stack, it's a great option. If you're incorporating this as part of just a bigger gym, it's still a great option. I guarantee you I'm going to find and continue to find a lot of uses for this piece. It will continue to be a staple in my home gym, like the other piece that um, you probably can't see it, but this Nordic back extension right here, still use it regularly. I think this stuff's pretty awesome, guys. So the adjustable squat ramps, again, the only downside I will say to these, and this slant stack does not have those grippy feet. I think that's pretty important to mention. The risers don't either. So do keep that in mind. These adjustable ramps do have grippy feet. One thing I will say with these, I like these overwhelmingly, but just in the spirit of complete transparency, the adjustments when they get down into these rungs, the way these rungs are cut, it's not a perfect fit with this bar. Does it affect the functionality? No, but it can be kind of clunky moving them between. Again, not a huge deal, but just in the spirit of full transparency on this review. But otherwise, guys, these are about $65 with applicable tax and shipping for the adjustable ramps. Again, these risers, 3 risers, is about $90 plus applicable tax and shipping. The slant board's $50, $60, I want to say, with applicable tax and shipping. So all of this is priced very comfortably, considering I paid $50 of my own money for a set of adjustable wedges that were made completely out of like a hard foam. So I feel very comfortable with recommending these for your home gym. Now, if you do have any questions for me, please don't hesitate to drop them in the comment section below. Thank you so much for attending this short video. I appreciate y'all. I hope y'all have a great day.